What is up, Leo? How are y'all doing, man? Guess what time it is? It's time for your January 2025 main monthly reading. I know this is a January video, and I'm decked out in Christmas gear. But for those of you who happen to catch this video in January, this is being live streamed on Christmas Eve. So I'm decking out with my Christmas gear today, man. Anyway, here we are, man. 2025. Anybody happen to catch a glimpse of 2024? I didn't. It said, pew. Anyway, let's just go ahead and jump into this. For those of you who need a personal reading, the information is in the description, okay? All right, let's start this off with the person that you dealt with in the past. Let me get this incense going here. It went out. Person Leo dealt with in the past. If you're not inquiring about somebody you dealt with in the past, sit tight. I'll get to your situation here in just a second. What's happening in January between Leo and the person they dealt with in the past? Ooh, Queen of Pentacles. Four of Wands. So there's an open door of opportunity hanging wide open for the two of you to reconnect. But it kind of looks to me like both of you are holding back. Y'all are both holding back. And you know what? I know I say this is a common message to come through for the past person, but I think y'all are really, really, really seriously mirroring each other. Seriously. Like seriously mirroring each other. It's like both of you are holding back. Like basically, however you feel about this, I think that's the way they feel about it. No, they haven't let go of this any more than you have. But they also don't want to be the one to come forward. Probably for the same reason you don't. Well, that's pretty much all I can really get. I do think, though, however, that this person would be open to coming forward if they saw the right window of opportunity. But it doesn't look like they're seeing the right window of opportunity. So it looks just pretty much like radio silence. I think both of y'all are a little bit worried that it might just turn into conflict. You know? Okay, some of you dealt with an Aquarius in the past. I also have Taurus, could be a fellow Leo. I have Cancer and Scorpio here. Well, let's see how they feel about you deep, deep down at the deepest level. What's the past person's deepest feelings about Leo universe? Death card, man. They feel like it's a done dollar. Dun 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 dun. Death card came out in the last spread too. Could be a Scorpio for some of you. Ooh, Emperor. See, they do want to talk to you, but they want to feel like they're the ones in control of this situation. If I remember correctly, this is the same message that came through for the last Leo reading. But they want to be the one to feel like they're in control of this situation. So basically, they believe that if they took it upon themselves to be the ones to come forward, then that would hand the power over to you in their mind. So they do want to talk to you, though. They're just too scared. It's not really telling me what they're wanting or what their intentions are, though. They probably don't really have a solid set of actual intentions, you know? Like, it's not like they're thinking through exactly what they want with you. They just still feel tied to you, you know? So it's kind of like an itch that they can't scratch. Okay. Too scared to come forward. Nine of Swords, Fool card reversed. They do be keeping a close eye on you, though. Okay, well, let's get the advice on this and see what's the best course of action for Leo in January. Okay, this deck's getting an attitude with me. Let's just keep it Rider Waite. Let's just keep it Rider Waite, baby. All right. What's the advice? Oh, Knight of Cups reversed. I think, isn't this the same message that came through for the Will They Reach Out? I think it is. This sounds familiar. It may not be the same one, but I feel like this is something similar. So well, first of all, if you want the silence to be broken, it's going to have to be you that does it. And I know a lot of you don't want to hear that. I'm not saying you should do that. I'm just saying that's the only way the silence is going to get broken, especially if you're dealing with a fellow fixed sign. If you're dealing with a fellow fixed sign, you have to understand they're just as stubborn as you. So when you have two fixed signs, who's going to be the one that's flexible? That's the problem usually with fixed signs. However, if you do reach out, I would start off with a closure message first. Start off with a closure message and just let that sink in for a little bit. And once that sank in for a little bit, for a couple of weeks, whatever, then ask yourself if you're even interested in talking to this person. If you still are, then we'll cross that bridge when it gets here, okay? Start off with a closure message, though. And I'll tell you why. Because in the grand scheme of things, no matter what you want to do, closure has to happen first. It has to. It doesn't matter if you want to move forward and find something new or go back and revisit something from the past. If you don't close out the old cycle and clear that energy, it's not going to work anyways. All right. Now we're going to take a look at the current long-term relationship. So if you're not in a long-term relationship, this is not for you. If you are in a long-term relationship and you're not experiencing any problems, this is not for you. Let's see, what do we got for Leo and the current long-term partner? What's happening in January? Ooh, the Five of Pentacles reversed. Okay. So nobody is being abandoned. I don't think anybody is abandoning this in January. Ooh, but all the negativity from the past between the two of you is still pent up and bubbling up. I think one of you got one foot out the door. I think so. I think one of you got at least 1 foot out the door, ready to walk away. But with the Five of Pentacles reverse being the overall energy, I don't think you are walking away. That's what I said, 1 foot out the door. But with the Karmic Wheel reverse next to the Devil card, y'all are repeating and repeating and repeating a very toxic karmic cycle. But Death card reversed. Some of you may have been on and off with this person. I mean, Death reversed, Karmic Wheel reversed, and the Devil. That could indicate on and off. But yeah, and just looping around, and looping around, repeating a karmic cycle here. So, Ten of Cups reverse, though, y'all are not really able to make it to that happily ever after phase between the two of you. You just aren't quite coming together as a team. You're not quite getting on the same page at the same time. Y'all are just on different pages. It's the only way I can really describe that. And when that circles around like that, the tension continues to build and 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 build. Okay, well, let's see how the long-term partner feels about Leo. What's their energy look like? What kind of person are they in general? What's their energy and intentions look like? Moon card. Could be a Pisces for some of you. Six of Wands. So it almost kind of feels like this person feels like you're holding them back from reaching their full potential. They don't really feel a connection with you quite as strong as they once did. Could be a Gemini for some of you. Could be somebody a lot younger than you for some of you with the Page of Cups here. I think they're a little bit on the emotionally immature side. A little bit. They just don't really feel a very deep connection with you. And with all this energy here, you're either dealing with somebody who's extremely immature or somebody that's younger than you. Or some of you could be dealing with somebody that has some sort of addiction issue, possibly. But regardless, I do think this person does have some attachments. They do have some attachments. I don't know, man. This is so weird because whatever this person's feelings are, be it positive or negative, they're not very deep. This person's feelings aren't very deep and intense. It almost just kind of feels like they're kind of going numb to this situation, starting to. Hang on a second. I get my water. Yeah, it kind of feels like they're starting to kind of go numb towards this situation. Where they're not overwhelmed by any kind of emotion. You know, they're not overwhelmed by love. They're not overwhelmed with hate. They're not overwhelmed with positivity. They're not overwhelmed with negativity. It just kind of feels like they're starting to go numb. That's kind of weird. I haven't seen that come through very many times. Some of you dealing with a Capricorn. Let's see who I got here. Capricorn, Cancer, Pisces, Gemini. Another Cancer card there. You know what it is? You know what it is? I think this is a codependent. You're dealing with a codependent. I don't have time to unpack all that. But the codependent is usually the first person to start going numb. Because the way the codependent thinks is, you know that really, really intense, invigorating feeling that gets created when you very first meet somebody new? You know, that explosive, intense feeling when you very first connect with somebody? The codependent mind believes that that feeling is love, and it's not. It's not at all. Now, there's nothing wrong with that feeling. I'm not saying that feeling is a bad thing, but it ain't fucking love. And the codependent believes that that feeling is love. That feeling is very short-lived, very fleeting, and very temporary. And then once that feeling starts to wear off, then that's when the codependent is left with the same empty void that was in their heart when they very first connected with you. And all you were doing was temporarily distracting them from it until they got used to you. That's the, in a nutshell, version. It gets a lot more complex and convoluted than that, but... okay, well, let's see. Let's see what the advice is here. What's the advice? Uh-oh, there's the Leo card reversed. Okay, well, it's time to make a solid decision. Are we working on this or are we not? Is it working out or is it not? I'm not really alluding to one answer or the other, but I'll say this, okay? You should see some kind of progress, some kind. Take a look back 6 months ago. Have you all made even an inch of progress? Even if it's just an inch. If so, okay. See if you want to keep that going and go another inch in the next 6 months. But if you take a look back 6 months ago and you took one step forward and slid back 3 steps, if your ship has sank 6 inches in 6 months, do you want to end up like the Titanic? A decision needs to be made. No more sitting around and waiting to see where this is going. We're either fucking doing this or we're not. One of the two. Boom. All right. Now let's take a look and see what's going on with the single Leos and your love interest. Single Leos and the person that you're interested in. Does this person know that you're interested in them? I hate it when this comes through. The 4 of Cups. Okay, so you know when I do the singles reading and I tell you that I have to divide you up into groups. I say that when the 4 of Cups comes out. I have to divide the 2 of you into groups. Well, sometimes the 8 of Swords too, but Group A is the group who hasn't said or done anything to indicate your feelings. You know, the generic example that I give is you got a crush on your coworker, but you're just kind of hoping they have a crush on you too, and you haven't really said anything, you haven't really done anything, haven't really flirted with them, you're just hoping that they notice you. Group B is the group that I'm really actually reading for, and that's the group where it's known that there's an interest here. Maybe we be flirting, you know, we be kind of hitting on each other and shit. We're in the talking phase, gone on a couple of dates. Some of y'all might even have fucked them, okay? Now, if you are part of Group A and you've never said or done anything to indicate your feelings, this person has no fucking clue that you're even into them. It hasn't even crossed their mind. So they probably honestly aren't noticing you the way you're noticing them. Now, if you're a part of Group B, for whatever reason, it's feeling like this person is choosing to avoid this opportunity. Most tarot readers call this the card of a missed opportunity. I don't like some of those generic go-to phrases that a lot of readers use, but in this particular situation, I think that sounds appropriate, a missed opportunity. But it's like they're missing it on purpose. Maybe for some of you, this person feels like you're a little bit out of their league, but you all have karma from a past life. Yep, you definitely have karma from a past life. So both of you feel an abnormally strong connection with each other. Let's see what their deepest feelings are for you. What's this person's deepest feelings for Leo? Ooh, this person got feelings for you. They do have an interest in you. They absolutely do. Could Could be a water sign for some of you. But they're still hung up on a past person too. Yeah. Okay. So they do have feelings for you, but I'm really thinking that they're hoping to reconcile with an ex at the same time. So they don't know who to choose, you or a past person. Yeah, they're still hung up on an ex. So the only thing that I will ask you is, how long ago did their last relationship end? If it was fairly recently, okay, that's understandable. But if this person is still hung up on their ex of fucking 4 years, that's a problem. That's a big problem. Big problem. But yeah, there's a third energy involved here. Definitely a third energy. Not going to say a third party. Could be a third party for some of you. But there's definitely a third energy, even if it's not a third party. Well, let's get the advice on this. What's the advice? Sun card reversed. Okay, so I'm gonna give you the advice in the form of a question that you should ask yourself so that you can come up with your own advice. Okay, now you can take this with you on your journey and apply this to any situation with any person. How long should I have to wait for a person that belongs in my life to come into my life? How long should I have to wait for that? It's a totally open-ended question. Every one of you has a different situation. Every one of you has a different path. Every one of you has a different relationship with the universe. How long should I have to wait for somebody who belongs in my life to come into my life? Do I believe that the one divine partner the universe picked for me is somebody that would leave me sitting and waiting? Just a question to ask yourself. So set a time frame. Set a time frame. If I was you, this is just personal advice. This bit I'm giving you right now is just personal advice. It's not the cards. I wouldn't let it go longer than another 30 days. If it was me personally. If something lingers longer than 30 days, and you want to make your feelings known too. Okay? You definitely want to make your feelings known. So, let your feelings and your intentions be known. And if it was me personally, I wouldn't let it linger longer than another 30 days. Linger longer. Linger longer. But I think, honestly, you do have karma with this person from a previous lifetime. But the energy right now doesn't look sufficient enough to lay a solid foundation. And I'm just telling you that because I don't have the authority to tell you what you should or should not do with a karmic contract, because that is very strictly between you and your higher self. Very strictly. That's a contract that you wrote before I ever set foot on this planet. I was fucking light years away on my home planet playing some other fucking game that had nothing to do with the 3D Earth game. I ain't got no authority to tell you what you should do with this. But just think about that. How long should I have to sit and wait? All right, y'all. Well, I feel like those were the messages that my Leo family needed to hear. So I am going to go ahead and end this video here. Thanks again for tuning in and playing along. Don't forget to check the description of the video if you would like to find out how to schedule a personal reading. All right? I'm out of here now, y'all. I will see you sometime between now and the rest of all eternity. Stay blessed.